What is up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video, another episode. Everybody hates black men. Again, my name is
Anderson. Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson.
Anderson. So this story actually speaks to me, in a very significant way because between 2015 and 2018, midway into it, I was actually an Uber driver, and I did over 11,000 rides. I did over 11,000 rides doing that work when that stuff was just now on being onboarded into North Carolina. It was a fairly small market, and it was a very interesting experience. Got to see a lot of different people. I mean, 11,000 rides. Pretty much 99.5% of that was all different people. And it was a really unique experience. And as I am a people person, it was a really interesting experience. The good and the bad and the ugly. I can happily say I don't have any traumatic experiences when it comes to that, and that is good. So with that in mind, we have a story right here of a Detroit rapper. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I don't even feel like trying to say her name, but we have a Detroit rapper that basically is, by her own terms, around 500 pounds. She's really more 450 something pounds, and she was denied a ride from Lyft, not Uber, but Lyft, due to the Lyft driver saying that it would he believed it would damage his car. And so that's the story we're going to jump into. I'm going to talk about it on the back end, but what we're going to do is play the video so you can catch this story, and then we'll talk to it on the other side, go through an article, and that good jazz.
A Detroit rapper denied a lift from Lyft. She says it's due to her size. Jessica Dupnack from our Fox sister station explains.
Have you been in cars that size before?
Yes, I have. I've been in cars smarter than that.
Deja Blanding tells us she was just trying to get to a Detroit Lions watch party this month when her Lyft rolled up.
As I'm walking, I see him making faces or whatever. I'm like, oh man.
She already knew.
I can fit in this car.
Believe me, you can.
Yes, I can.
Believe me.
He told her there's not enough room in his car.
The kicker part was when he started to talk about his tires. I feel like that was a slap in the face. That was like my tires.
The driver said his tires could not handle her weight.
Every big person you turn down because they can't fit in your car.
Yeah, because they need to order the Uber XL instead.
No, I don't never have to order Uber XL.
He apologized, canceled the ride, and left her there. The rapper says she's pretty tough. Dank DeMoss, as she's known at the mic, is crushed by the whole situation.
I just want them to know, it really hurt my feelings.
It looks like a Lyft might be hurting pretty soon, too.
I knew it was illegal and I knew that it was wrong.
Her attorneys, John Marco and Zach Runyon, say weight is a protected characteristic in Michigan by law.
It would be no different than a driver pulling up and saying, I don't want to have black people in my car, or I don't want to have Christians in my car, or Muslims in my car. It's the same. Under the law, it's the same.
The lawsuit is filed. Since she posted the encounter on social media, other full-figured folks have reached out saying the same thing happened to them.
I can fit in this car.
Believe me, you can.
Yes, I can. I really want people to see what we go through as bigger people,
All right, so as you all can see, you all got the story there. So let's talk about it. I'm not going to go through an article and going through all that, reading an article. I'm just going to give my thoughts. I'll probably end up doing maybe a longer stream about it, and if I do that or panel about it, I'll link that in the description. But here's the thing. Thankfully, I have not had to have to make a decision to pick up someone of that size. Let's be very clear here. In the video, they use a terminology like full figured. That's not a full figured woman. We're not gonna play games. Once you get past 300 pounds, you are dealing with something different. And I'm not saying people at 300 pounds. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is this woman is over 400 and something pounds. 400 and something pounds. And you don't know where she's going. It did not look like she was going close. Somebody in my Discord mentioned to me, pay attention to how the car sound. Yeah, the car does sound like it could need a tune-up. But at the end of it, so it's two sides. There is the letter of the law, and I guess in Michigan, it's either true or it's not true that size is a characteristic that is protected under the law. Now, in my opinion, size needs to be defined. It really does need to be defined. Are we talking about 400, 500, 600? Because my thing is, in the law, at what point does it get to a point where that's not reasonable? At what point? Let's be real here. So here's the problem with this, and the reason why I wanted to do a video on this, and I'm doing this late, is because from what I hear, the Lyft driver got let go of which is not technically being let go, because these are contractors, and being contractors, all they got to do is just not allow you to do the ride, use the app anymore, and in their eyes they could say it's not that we let them go, we're just not renewing the contract, even though the contract is like every day. So it's not the same. And so if you're not, this is why people wanted the ability to could be considered an employee, because this is the abuse that could happen. So I actually do empathize with the driver, because truth be told, I'm not saying this would have happened, but if this would have happened and something would have happened to that car, yeah, the car is insured, true, but insurance doesn't account for that, for you letting somebody in the car. And the truth is, most states don't have what's called rideshare insurance, and most insurances really don't know if they're covering a car for rideshare, and that's a specifically rideshare thing. That's kind of one of the things on the low that kind of nobody talks about. And so, but from a straight legal standpoint, all she has to do is all they got to do is go in the history of her application and show that she's been in cars like that. That's all she got to do. If they can show that once or multiple times, that'll be a point in her favor. All they got to do, and the lawyer clearly said that. He said that weight is a protected characteristic. You combine that with the fact if she's been in another car, then at the end of the day, Uber may have a case. They may have a case against Lyft. They probably have a case against Lyft, and it's probably these lawyers don't take these cases for no reason. They think they can win. They won't take cases they don't think they can win, especially if it's more on some pro bono stuff, because they're looking at the check that they can get after the fact, because Lyft is a big company, and that also makes sense as to why they let the driver go, assuming they did that. I heard that. I haven't seen that officially being said. My issue with this is it's not clearly defined. Like most people, we're not talking about somebody that's like 200 something pounds. We're talking about somebody that's more than double a 200-pound person. And granted, you could say, well, 3 people at 150 is 450 people, but that's more of a weight. Somebody correctly pointed out that's a weight distribution thing. So at the end of the day, man, you know, we're talking about feelings and all of that. Talk about emotional distress, your feelings. I just want to know what bigger people go through. He didn't do it because he just doesn't like that you're fat. He did it because he's concerned about his car. A car that ultimately he's going to be responsible for and financially accountable for. If something happens into that car, he can't say, I had somebody that's 450 pounds in the car, therefore an insurance is not going to cover that. That's the truth. And that's what nobody really wants to talk about. So, you know, let me know what you think. Do you think the driver's in the right? I mean, you could tell by how he was talking to her. Well, he was just really letting her know. But do you think the driver's in the right? Do you think she's in the right? Do you think that the fact that anybody's even looking her as a rapper gives a greater kind of commentary on culturally on where we are? Because that's a whole nother thing that I'm not even going to get into. Make sure you check in with a like, check out with a comment. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. We talk about these things about every other day. I did about 15 video upload just last month, as well as multiple panels, as well as multiple live streams. So if you got to this part of the video, I definitely do appreciate it. Make sure you click on the description, the links in the description. We got a Discord, we got a Patreon. Patreon is available to free members as well as paid members. I got a chat for you all for free and a lot of other stuff. And with that being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.